Hey guys, Ricardo here and welcome to another blog tech tips. In today's tutorial guys, I have the S26 Ultra and I'll be showing you on the S26 Ultra how to actually use the privacy display. Alright, so if you have the privacy display on the S26 Ultra, I'm going to explain how to do the partial blur. Alright, so as you can see here, you can notice that this current setup, the blurring effect is not on, as of course the screen is highly visible from the sides. All right, so in order to activate the conditional blur, or how to set up the blur to only activate under specific conditions, this is what you do. So the tutorial will be how to use the specific conditional blurs in order to only have the privacy screen only come on in specific situations, or to partially blur under exact conditions. All right, so in order to do that, swipe down from your upper right. You're gonna go to where it says privacy display here. You can also go to settings, so you can tap here, you'll have the settings. Another way to find these settings is to go to your settings. Then of course you're gonna be in here, which is the main settings menu. Go down to display, and it's the same setting by the way. So go to privacy display, which is right here. And of course you have all of the privacy display here. All right, so it's the same as if you were to come right here. All right, so I'll use this for it's much quicker. All right, so in order to do the conditional blur, it's going to be off. You're going to go ahead and turn on. You're going to tap on the text. Once you tap on the text, you'll see the conditions here. Tap here and you'll choose which apps you want. I suggest banking apps, and I also suggest apps such as your messaging apps and so on, meaning it will only come on for these specific apps. Go back. Next, you're gonna turn on these two, which says pattern and for notifications. I have a few apps here, such as my messaging app, my email apps and so on selected, so it's already done. Now check this out guys. So when it's turned on now, what it's saying here is that, for example, I have Amazon selected as one of my apps, and I have patterns and fields, meaning whenever a notification comes in, it will be blurred. All right, and also it will be blurring fields for pins and notifications. All right, so keep that on, and let me show you what's like. So if you see, your display is very visible from the sides. So let's go to Amazon. So if I were to launch Amazon, for example, here, you'll notice from the front it looks relatively okay. However, from the sides, it's a bit dark, right? You can still make out some basic stuff, but it's not so clear. But for you, from the front, is very clear. All right, so check this out now. If I were to turn it off, so let me turn this off. Check it out again. This is from the front, and check it out from the side. It's now super bright. So it's totally off. So it means that it's on for this, but that's the basic level. Let's say you want anybody to see from the side at all without affecting any other app on your device. What you do is go back here, hit on privacy display. You're going to turn this on. That's the basic level. And without turning this one on, turn this one on to maximum. Check out the display. It's at full. From the sides at full. But the minute you go into one of the selected apps, remember we had like messages and Amazon. If you go here and tap, for example, to you it's not it's relatively okay from the front, slightly blurred, but you will not really notice it. Well, you might notice it in terms of it's slightly darker, and that's the effect. But if you turn it to the side, notice you're not seeing anything. From the front, you can actually see. All right, that's nice. All right, and to show you it's actually working, if I go back to privacy display and turn off all of these, check it out. So there you go. Launch, super clear from the front, right? But from the side, highly visible. See? So that is how to activate the conditional blurs. And just to summarize, for basic protection, that's basic. It will only slightly blur the screen. People will still be able to make out stuff out, but it will be a little bit darkened for them from the sides. If you don't want them to see anything at all from the sides, go ahead and do max. And doing these two will specifically only affect the apps that you have selected, fields and messages that come on screen. All right, and that's the best settings I've found in my opinion, as it balances everything out. So everything will be okay except what I've selected, and entry fields for like your passwords and so on. All right, so that's how to do a specific conditional blur. Hope that was helpful, and see you in the next one, guys. Bye.